The private dining room buzzed with the muffled celebration of 18 executives, all gathered to toast Anna Vance's promotion to vice president.
We're here because Anna is destroying this family, and we're not leaving until she listens.
Her mother Janet thrust a printed list toward her son Anthony, her face a mask of righteous anger.
First, Anna doesn't visit enough. She's missed every family holiday for 3 years.
In a corner, board chairman Mr. Stephen unfolded his arms and leaned forward, his gaze sharp.
Second, she donates money to a woman's shelter, but won't help the family business. Third, Anna is married to her job. We're staging this intervention because we care.
The list of grievances hung in the air like a verdict, and the room fell into a thick silence.
This isn't a complaint. It's an intervention.
Every executive looked at Anna. In the corner, Stephen's eyes narrowed.
Thank you all for coming. It's clear you've put thought into this. We have some leftover food. Let me get you to-go boxes before you head out.
The room let out a single startled laugh. Then silence pressed down again, heavier than before. In the dim corner, Mr. Stephen's head dipped in the faintest nod, his expression unreadable.
I think it's best you leave now. I have guests.
You are making a mistake, Anna. A terrible mistake.
George started to argue, but Janet yanked his sleeve and marched him toward the door. Anthony crushed the list and followed, the door hissing shut behind them.
This was a test. Stephen's here for a reason.
The party noises climbed again, but across the room, Mr. Stephen kept watching, as if filing away data. Hours later, Anna stepped out of the restaurant into the cold night air. Inside her apartment, she dropped her keys on the counter and stood in the hollow silence.
They'd ambushed her in front of every person whose respect she needed.
A memory cut through the quiet, an afternoon 20 years ago.
This is what happens when you think you are better than your own family.
She'd been 12, standing on a school stage, clutching a second-place ribbon.
Second place wasn't failure, but for her mother, it was a public betrayal.
Anna walked to her bedroom, lay down, and felt the weight of the evening pressing her into the mattress.
They'll never change, but I won't let them take what I've built.
She closed her eyes, but Janet's voice still clawed at the edges of her mind. Anna arrived at the office early the next morning, her jaw set. Before she could touch her keyboard, her boss and the HR director summoned her to the East Conference Room.
I understand the incident was public, but I handled it with the same composure I bring to any client crisis.
The HR director asked whether Anna expected further disruptions from her family.
I've drawn a hard line. It won't touch these walls again.
From the window, Mr. Stephen turned and spoke for the first time.
When a hostile stakeholder tries to derail a meeting, what's your first instinct, Miss Vance?
Isolate the disruption and protect the room's focus. You don't win by shouting. You win by keeping control.
A small, knowing smile crossed Stephen's face as he nodded slowly. The meeting closed with no mark against her, but Anna walked away certain that Stephen was measuring something larger than an HR review. A week later, Anna was reviewing quarterlies when her phone buzzed on the desk. The screen read, Anthony Vance.
You humiliated Mom and Dad at your party. They just wanted to help you see what you're doing to this family.
The only humiliation was yours, Anthony. Don't call me again.
She ended the call and blocked his number without a second thought. But late that evening, a colleague forwarded a social media post that made her blood run cold. Janet's account had published a long thread calling Anna ungrateful and career-obsessed, and it tagged the company. The post had been shared 14 times, and dozens of comments piled on. The next morning in the office, Anna felt the sideways glances and the sudden silences.
She's turning my own workplace into a jury. This is a new game.
Anna started toward HR, then stopped. Publicly responding would only feed Janet's narrative. By noon, her boss called a mandatory town hall to address the distraction circulating online.
I won't comment on the details, but my commitment to this company is unchanged.
From the back of the room, Stephen stood with his arms crossed, watching the faces more than he watched her.
I've handled worse storms in boardrooms. Office gossip won't break my focus.
The room shifted in their seats, the whispers dying halfway through her short statement. After the meeting, Stephen's assistant intercepted her in the hall and said the chairman wanted a moment.
That was a neat maneuver, Miss Vance. You turned a personal attack into a display of leadership.
Was that the point, Mr. Stephen? To see if I'd fold?
He didn't answer. Instead, he gestured to a chair, and Anna felt the weight of the next test. Anna sat down, eyes steady, knowing that whatever came next would define whether the past weeks had saved her or sunk her.
Let's imagine a boardroom. A director questions your integrity in front of everyone. What do you do?
Stay calm. Correct the record with facts. Then ask the room if they need clarification.
What if they're persistent? What if it's emotional, personal, designed to break your composure?
Emotion is fuel for someone who's losing. I'd let them burn themselves out.
Stephen's pen tapped his notepad, but he made no mark.
In a boardroom, you'd face that. Public, personal attacks. Could you really stay above it?
If I couldn't, I wouldn't be sitting here. My family gave me plenty of practice.
Stephen's lips pressed thin, not displeased, just impossible to read.
This isn't about family anymore. He's testing me for a bigger room.
She left the office with no clear answer, only the unsettling sensation that every word she'd spoken had been weighed. The next morning, Anna was handed the Henderson account, the firm's most volatile client, and told to salvage it by end of week. On the call, the client launched into a tirade about the last VP's incompetence, his voice filling the speaker.
I hear your frustration. Let's isolate the 3 critical issues and fix them before lunch.
In his office, Stephen listened in on mute, fingers steepled. Anna walked the client through each point, her tone steady, and by the end, he'd agreed to a new contract.
That was CEO grade composure, Miss Vance. I've rarely seen a salvage that clean.
The Henderson account was never about money. It was about whether I could handle a bully without flinching.
Stephen held her gaze for a long moment, then nodded once.
He still won't say it. But something big is waiting.
Anna returned to her VP desk, the words CEO grade echoing louder than any title she'd held. The following Tuesday, Janet Vance stood on the concrete outside the office tower, staring up at the 23rd floor.
I am here to see my daughter. She's destroying this family, and I won't be ignored.
The security guard stepped forward, palm raised, his voice calm but final.
You can't keep me out. This is a public building, and I have every right to be here.
Upstairs, Anna stared down at the miniature drama, coffee gone cold in her hand.
She came to the office. She's actually here.
A cluster of junior staff crowded the window, phones half raised.
She doesn't get to make this my fault again.
Anna picked up her desk phone and ordered security to escort Janet off the property and ban all 3 family members permanently. The report landed on HR's desk before lunch, another public mark she'd have to defend. Late that afternoon, Stephen's assistant appeared at Anna's door with a terse summons.
Miss Vance, for the last 6 months, you've been under observation as a leadership finalist for an open board seat. That scene at your promotion party was the final stress test, and you passed it cold.
So my family's worst moment became my strongest credential.
Precisely. But you still need to face a formal board interview in 3 weeks. Nothing is guaranteed.
I wouldn't expect it any other way. When do I start preparing?
Now. The board needs to see the same composure you showed that night, plus your strategic vision.
A board seat. They'll never believe this is what their intervention bought me. Thank you for the transparency, Mr. Stephen. I'll be ready.
Anna stepped out of his office, the weight of the interview settling on her shoulders like armor. Anna buried herself in governance documents and risk analyses, her desk disappearing under stacks of paper.
Revenue diversification, crisis frameworks, stakeholder maps. They'll ask for depth I haven't shown before.
She arranged a practice session with a retired director who grilled her without mercy for 2 hours.
The board doesn't need a VP who plays safe. They need a strategist who can turn volatility into advantage.
Good. But the board will also want to know if you can handle a personal attack without flinching. Again.
On Thursday, Anna's mentor pulled her aside. A board member had received a voicemail from a woman claiming Anna was unstable.
She's calling the board. She's trying to burn me down from the inside.
Janet had left 2 more messages that afternoon, her voice crisp with manufactured concern.
This isn't a distraction I can ignore, but it's also not a reason to stop.
She returned to her notes, but the board interview was now a race against a family determined to poison the well. Anna pushed open the heavy door of a law firm, her heels echoing on polished stone. She was done playing defense.
I need a cease and desist. My family is calling board members and spreading lies.
The lawyer listened without expression and drafted a letter that threatened legal action if the harassment didn't stop.
This paper is a line. Once I send it, I can't unmake the choice.
She read the draft twice, her fingers steady but a knot tightening in her chest.
Draft it. But I won't send it yet. If they force my hand after the interview, I'll use it.
The lawyer nodded, slid the document into an envelope, and placed it on the desk. She picked up the envelope, the weight of it, both threatening and reassuring. At home, she placed it in her desk drawer, knowing it could end the war or start a new one.
2 weeks. I'll survive that long without them blowing up my life again.
Monday morning, Mr. Stephen appeared in Anna's doorway holding an unsigned letter that had been mailed to every board member.
It claims you are emotionally unstable, dishonest, and a danger to the company's reputation.
Let me guess. It's from my family, and they didn't have the courage to sign it.
Stephen set the letter on the desk. His pen tapped once.
They're trying to kill my board seat before the interview even starts.
Can you handle this, Miss Vance? If you are chosen, you'll face far worse.
I can. And that letter is why I'm sending a cease and desist today.
Anna pulled the envelope from her drawer and signed the final page without hesitation. She texted her lawyer. Send it. Do it now. She slid the phone away, the decision irreversible, and walked out to meet whatever came next. The morning of the interview. Anna stood outside the boardroom, the weight of the last 3 months compressed into a single leather folio. She pushed the door open. 12 board members turned to face her, Stephen at the head.
My vision is simple. We stop managing crises and start weaponizing volatility as market advantage.
She walked them through risk frameworks and revenue projections, her hand steady on the screen.
Miss Vance, let's address the elephant. How do we know your family's attacks won't recur and damage this board's reputation?
You saw how I handled it. I don't react to noise. I contain it. That's my promise in every boardroom I enter.
Stephen exchanged a glance with the director to his left, the kind of glance that meant everything and said nothing. 3 board members fired follow-up questions. Anna answered without hesitation, her voice never rising. Stephen closed the session with a thank you. No vote, no promise, only the instruction to expect a call.
They'll call, or they won't. Either way, I didn't flinch.
The week after the interview, Anna's phone vibrated with near-constant calls. Janet, then George, again and again.
They're circling like they know I am close to something. Not this time.
She blocked both numbers permanently, then blocked Anthony's again for good measure. Later, Anna sat with her lawyer and finalized a will that left every account, property and asset to one person, her godmother, Claire.
Not a cent to Janet, George, or Anthony. This is the line I am drawing.
She signed her name once, neatly, and the ink dried as irrevocable as the decision itself. That night, she video called Claire from her couch. The older woman's face filled the screen.
Anna, honey, you don't have to give me anything. Just knowing you are safe is enough.
You are my real family, Claire. It's not about money. It's about who I belong to.
When the call ended, Anna sat in the quiet and felt something settle. Not grief, but a strange, unclenching freedom. Late evening, Anna's phone lit up with a name that made her pulse flatten. Mr. Stephen.
Miss Vance, I'd like to see you in my office tomorrow morning. 8 o'clock.
I'll be there. Can you tell me what this is about?
Just a conversation. One I think you'll find worth your time.
He ended the call before she could ask another question. The silence that followed was heavier than any answer.
Worth my time. He chose those words carefully. He always does.
She tried to eat, tried to read. By 10, she was pacing the floor, her mind racing. At midnight, she lay staring at the ceiling, her mind cycling through every possible outcome.
If it were a no, he'd say it over the phone. He wouldn't make me come in.
By dawn, she was dressed and waiting by the door, the hours stretching like wire. Anna stepped into the hushed executive suite. Stephen's door was open, his silhouette framed by the morning light, and somehow she already knew.
Miss Vance, sit, please.
She lowered into the chair, her spine straight. Stephen's face was unreadable, the way it always was before the real words came.
The board voted unanimously this morning. You are the new independent director, effective immediately.
Unanimous. They'd all said yes, even after the anonymous letter. Even after everything. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. I'll earn this every day.
That night at your promotion, you de-escalated faster than most CEOs I've watched. That was the deciding moment.
Then my family's attack was the best thing that ever happened to my career.
Their worst gave us your best. The board was unanimous because of it.
Stephen stood and extended his hand. Anna shook it, her grip firm, the new title settling like a second skin. 1 week later, Anna entered the boardroom for her first official meeting. Her nameplate had already been mounted beside Stephen's.
This table was worth every scar.
At the same hour, in a cramped kitchen miles away, Janet Vance's phone lit up with a LinkedIn alert.
Board director? She took a board seat? She's destroying this family.
She dialed Anna's number. Blocked. She tried a different line, and another, until she'd called 11 times in a single afternoon. Inside the boardroom, Anna felt the vibration against her thigh and ignored it. When a break was called, she stepped into the hallway and saw the list of missed calls. Janet Vance, 11 times. She typed 4 words and pressed send. I am in a board meeting. Then she powered down the phone and returned to the boardroom, her expression as calm as still water. After the meeting, Anna drove home, pulled the signed will from her desk, and locked it inside a fireproof safe. Then she took a plain white card and slid it across the table.
They'll expect a letter, an apology, an excuse. They get 2 words.
She printed Happy Holidays in the center, unsigned, and slipped the card into an envelope. No return address, no stamp of sentiment.
This is the last thing they'll ever receive from me.
She walked to the mailbox at the end of her street and dropped the envelope into the slot. The metal thud echoed in the quiet, a small, final sound.
Now they have exactly what they gave me. Nothing.
She turned back toward her house, the winter wind sharp against her face, and didn't look back. 6 months later, Anna opened a pay statement. The bottom line had crossed 7 figures.
7 figures. And the trajectory only pointed up.
She walked into a boutique and bought the handbag she'd once dismissed as unattainable. Every evening, she stood on her balcony, the city lights glittering like a vote of confidence. At the company gala, she laughed with executives who now saw her as an equal, not just a rising star.
To Anna Vance, the sharpest appointment this board has made in a decade.
In a town 200 miles away, the Vance family home sagged with peeling paint and an overgrown lawn. Inside, Janet and George lived smaller than ever, their names fading from the community they'd once ruled. Anna never checked on them. The only name she spoke now was Claire's. Her life had become exactly what she'd built. No apology, no looking back. The following Sunday, Anna drove to Claire's cottage, where Wisteria climbed the porch, and the air smelled like jasmine.
You know, I've never seen you this settled. The board, the apartment, I am proud of you, Anna.
I chose my family. It took years, but I finally lined up my life with the people who actually love me.
They laughed, and the garden seemed to hold the sound, warm and uncomplicated.
This is what family is supposed to feel like.
Later, at home, Anna opened her desk drawer and saw the unsigned letter the family had sent to the board. She lifted it with 2 fingers, held it over the drawer for a beat, then let it drop.
That paper once kept me up at night. Now it's just clutter.
Anna closed the drawer and walked to the window, the city spreading below her like a promise kept. The woman, who had been ambushed at her own promotion, had turned their worst into her best, and she was just getting started. Months passed, and the boardroom became her natural habitat.
Every decision I make reinforces why I am here.
Sometimes she pictured the empty dining room, the chair where she stood, the space where her family had tried to break her.
That scene almost derailed me. Instead, it built me.
She walked into every board meeting with the same gray shirt beneath her blazer, a private armor, the woman who stayed calm, who didn't flinch, who turned humiliation into a board seat. She was just getting started.
I stayed calm, and I kept rising.
The empty chair in the dining room held no power now. It was just furniture, fade to Anna's eyes, steady, meeting the camera. No need for words. She'd already won. Parents staged my intervention at my promotion party. The board chairman was watching.